Hello lovely people, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria. So guys, this is what I got after making my, but then I feel a need of adding a sleeve, so I went ahead to add a sleeve, and then this is our final look. You see the way the gown is so relaxed on my body, and it's giving what it's supposed to give, 10/10 minus no rip, that is period. So guys, in today's video I'll be showing you guys how to go about the cutting and then the sewing of this beautiful gown. So if this is what you are really interested in, please stay tuned as we're about to start. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please kindly subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that when I post another video, you'll be the first person to see it. And if this is the first time you are seeing this channel, thanks for stopping by, and then let's get right into the video. So guys, I made use of this thick crepe fabric, 1 yard, and then this flower fabric is 2 yards. So that was what I used for the gown. So then we'll go ahead with our pattern drafting. I've gone ahead to draft the basic bodice just as you can see me. So this is the front and then this is the back. This is just our basic bodice. If you don't know how to draft basic bodice, I have several tutorials on that on my channel. You can go and watch it. So next, what we'll be doing here, we'll be putting our bust measurement. So the bust I'm working with is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. So that is the 9 inches there. So I'm just going to mark all the lines. So that is the first line is the chest line, the bust point, the waist, the under bust, the waistline, and then the last line there is our hip line. And then that is the hip line for the back. You discover that the back is shorter than the front because of the back waistline. Yes, because the front waistline is 16 while the back is 14 because of the effect of the bust. You know, the back and the front is not equal. So what we'll be doing now, we are going to be putting our waist measurement, which is 7 inches plus 1 inch for the dart intake. Why it is 7 inches is 28 divided by 4. My waist is 28, so when I divide it by 4, I have 7 inches plus 1 inch for the dart intake. Then I'll connect from the waist down to the up to the bust point. Now then on the hip line, I'll be putting my hip measurement. The hip I'm working with is 38 inches, so 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. so I'll go ahead to mark my 9.5, then I'll carry my cuff to connect it perfectly, just as you can see me doing like so. So guys, after connecting it, this is what we have. Next we'll be putting our dart. So the dart I'm working with is 4 inches, and how to get your dart is your bust span, that is your nipple to nipple. So mine is 8, so I'll be making use of 4. That is 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'll mark that 4 on the waist, on the bust point, and then down on the hip. So I'll go ahead to connect all the 3 line that I mark, all the 3 dots I mark actually. I'll connect them with a straight line that is going to serve as a dart line. So that is where I'll be taking my dart from. You get? So now on the waistline, discover we remove 1 inch for our dart. So we'll go out by ½ inch on both sides. We'll connect it to the bust point. Then from the waist down, I'll come down by 5 inches. So that is where the dart for the down part will stop. I believe you get what I'm trying to say. So after connecting it, this is what we have. So next thing we'll be doing, we are going to be doing our bust dart. The bust dart I'm working with is 2. That is the difference from the back waistline and the front waist. So mine is 16 and 14. So when you do that, you are going to have the 2 inches. So I'll go ahead to connect it to meet the bust point, just as you can see me doing like that. So that is our bust dart. Now after doing the bust dart, so next thing we'll be doing is we are going to go to the upper part, which is the neckline. Initially our basic neckline is 3 by 3, but now for the width I'll be making use of 3.5 inches. Now I added ½ inch. Then for the depth down, I used 3 by 3 before, so now I'll be adding extra 3 inches. That is to say it is now 6 to 3.5 inches. So I'll just go ahead to connect it curvely, just as you can see me doing like that. So that is a new chest line we'll be working with. Now for the back, we are just going to do the basic that we did for the front. We'll put our bust measurement there. On the waist, we'll put our waist measurement, which is 7 inches. After putting the 7 inches, we'll put our 1 inch for our dart intake. So that is the 1 inch that I'm putting there. So after doing that, I'll just connect from the waist to meet the chest line up for the back. So after doing that, then on the hip line for the back, I'll still go ahead and put my hip measurement, which is 9.5. 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. Then I'll just go ahead to connect it just as we did for the front. Now after doing that, we are going to be putting our dart properly for the back. You notice how we did the dart for the front, so that is what we'll be doing exactly for the back. So guys, after doing the dart, this is what we have. Now we are also going to work with the neckline for the back. Initially I used 3 by 1, but now I'll be making use of the 3.5 that I used for the front. Then the depth, instead of 1, I'll be making use of 2 inches. So that is the only difference. Now after doing that, I'll still carry my curve and then connect it perfectly, just as you can see me doing like so. So I'll go ahead to connect it. So our new neckline for the back now is what? 2 by 3.5, while the front is 6 by 3.5. So that's what I have. Now after connecting it, this is what we have, and then that is all for the pattern drafting. I'll just go ahead to cut out my pattern, just as you can see me doing like this. So guys, after cutting the pattern, this is what we have. Now you'll be placing it on this our black fabric. Then we'll go ahead to cut, just as you cut your basic body. So I'll go ahead to cut it on the black crepe, then I'll bring it. So this is my front pattern, then this is my back pattern. I'm just trying to label it in order for us not to do mistake while cutting. So when I'm done cutting, I'll bring it. So guys, after cutting, this is what we have. This is the back, and then this is the front. So this is what we have after cutting it. You discover that for the front, the side I added what? 1.75 inches for allowance. Then the armhole, I added 0.5 inches. Then the necklines, I didn't really add anything there because we'll be using a bias tape to turn it. You get? So the main side I added 1.75. Then the armhole I added 0.5 inches. So next thing we'll be doing is we are going to what? Unpin it properly. So now after unpinning it, this is what we have. Then this is the front. So we'll be working with the front, but in order for us to work with it, we are going to turn it to the good face so that we can see it properly. So guys, after turning it to the good face, I'm just placing the pattern on it so that I can trace out the waistline. So after tracing it out, I'll just go ahead to rule it together. Now from that our waistline, we are going to be coming down by 4 inches on the both sides. So I'll come down by 4 inches on this side, and then I'll come down by 4 inches on the other side. So this is our 4 inches. Please pay attention to this part because this is where the stylish gown actually come out. So I'll come down by 4 inches on the other side. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead to connect the lines together, but I make sure I connect it firmly since this is a good face of it. Now after that, what we'll be doing, we are going to come down by 3 inches again from this our right hand side. Yes, you discover that the style is on the right hand side, right? So I'll come down by what? 3 inches. So after coming down by that 3 inches, next I'll just connect it curvely to meet this other point. Now to this other end, I'll not come down by anything on that other end again. You get? So that is where the style comes in. And then this is what we have. So I'll go ahead to add ½ inch all around to serve as a sewing allowance. So after that, next we'll be doing is you just go ahead to cut it off. So guys, after cutting it off, this is what we have. This is for the front, and then we'll be working with the back properly. We'll firstly remove the pin, and then after removing the pin, this is me marking it to differentiate between the back and then the good face and the bad face actually. So I'll just go ahead to place it straight like so, and then next thing we'll be doing, we don't have to do any calculation again since we already did our calculation for the front. We'll just place the piece that we had for the front, and then go ahead and still trace it and cut it out because we've add the necessary allowance and we've done the necessary things. So there's no need of calculating coming down by 4, coming down by 3 again. So that is all we have for the back. So next we'll be doing is we are going to be working with them properly now. So this is our front piece, right? So now we'll just go ahead to fold it and then mark out our dart allowance that we added then. We'll go ahead to sew it. So this is the dart we did on our pattern. I've gone ahead to draw it on the cloth itself. I did this off camera, so this video will not be that long. So it is just the dart we did on the pattern. So I like transfer it to the fabric so that while sewing on the machine, you not get confused. So I'll just go ahead to pin them properly, pinning the 2 waist dart and then the 2 bust darts that we have. So guys, after pinning it, next we'll be doing is we'll go to our sewing machine and then sew it together. So anything I do to the front, I'll definitely do it to the back. I'll also do the back dart. So guys, after sewing our dart, this is what we have: the 2 waist dart and then the 2 bust dart. So this is what we have. And then for the back, I've also gone ahead to sew the dart also. So next thing we'll be doing, we are going to be joining the shoulders together. So I make sure I place it to the appropriate side of the front, so that it aligns very well. Then I'll join the shoulders together. This is just a basic joining of your shoulder. There's nothing hard here. So next we just go ahead to join our shoulders. So when I'm done joining the shoulders, I'll bring it. So guys, after joining the shoulder, I discovered I joined with that 0.5 inches we added wide cutting. So after joining our shoulders, this is what we have. So next we'll be doing is, we are going to be working with our neckline. We are going to pipe the neckline or turn the neckline with our bias tape. So we are going to be using this bias and then turn the neckline just as you use your basic bias. So now after turning the neckline, this is what we have. So can you see? This is what we have. Now next thing we'll be doing is, we are going to be joining the back and the front together. So before that, we are just going to place it properly and then use our pin to keep the whole thing in place so that we know where to mark. So now we'll be marking that our 1.75 inches allowance we added earlier while cutting. So I'll go ahead to mark it all the way to the top of the dress. Make sure while doing this, you have to be very, very careful, because if you mark anything bigger than that 1.75, you discover that maybe when you are done sewing, the clothes will start tightening you or you not get it right. So discover that I'm very, very slow in this part. So that is why I'm still very slow in the video, so that you all can get it clear. So after that, I'll just go ahead to sew it out. So this is the sewing, and then this is what we have. So please make sure you keep ironing so that it keeps your work very clean. So next we just go ahead to measure all what we have from this end down to the other end. So I discovered that we have 40 inches. So next thing we'll be doing, we are going to be working with a gather. So the 40 is going to be times 3. So in order for you to have a full gather, so I'll times 40 by 3, and anything it gives me, that's what I'll be using for my gathers. So now what we'll be doing is, the remaining length of the gown, like mine is remaining just 20 inches. So that 20 inches will be the length of the gathers. Then the width, now it is that 40 times 3. I believe you get what I'm trying to say. So after doing that long thing, this is what we have. I think 40 times 3 is 120, right? So this is what we have. We'll go to the sewing machine, sew it, and then have our gathers. So guys, after doing the gathers, this is what we have. So this is the gathers, and then this is our upper part. We'll just go ahead to place it good face to good face. Then we'll join from one end to another end. So I'll just go ahead to start placing it one after the other. I'll make sure I use my pin to keep the whole thing in place very well. So after sewing the gathers, this is what we have. Can you see? So this is what we have. Now next thing we'll be doing is, we are going to be closing it and then putting our zipper. I think that is almost the end of this tutorial. Yes. So I'll just go ahead to mark out my zipper allowance and then fix the zipper. You remember we use 1.5, so we'll know how to sew it. So just go ahead to put the zipper, and then the down part of the dress, you go ahead to also fold it. So after that, this is what I have. Then I went ahead to add the sleeve, and then that is all for this tutorial. I believe this tutorial was very helpful. Please give me your comment on the comment section, then I can reply to it. Bye.